Last minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning, Ryan. It's okay.
And staying in front of the day isn't always as
Thanks,
simple
Ryan.
as 1,
What's
2,
up?
3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
What's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the ShareCare Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I want to discuss this particular question. It's come up a lot for me because of some frustration that I've had with maybe some other trainers. And the question is, what does it mean to be a professional? What does it mean to be a professional? I'm going to come up with 10 things I want to talk about, and you could probably list dozens and dozens of things, but I think these are some things that I just want to touch on because I think it's important. And we're going to just start with a list. I've got 10 things, characteristics for being a professional at the gym, you as a personal trainer. And number one, you should be professional in appearance, in language, like your professional look, your feel, your vibe. And that means different things for different people. There's some gyms out there which are, you wear your kind of a polo shirt and it's got their logo on it and you've got a name tag on and you got to have your shirt tucked in, and looking professional there is a different type of professional than working at another gym where you come in and you got shorts on and you've got your shirts untucked and you're wearing a baseball cap. And yet all of those, each of those can be examples of what looking professional looks like. And I always know generally who the physical therapists are that come into the gyms and train their clients too, because they look like many times that they just came from a board meeting. So you've got a different look for different people, different styles, but there's still professionalism in your appearance. And what I mean, there is a world of dishevelment that may or may not be acceptable, but professional in appearance can also be how you are received, and that can be your language. And I had a problem with somebody that at one point when people would come in and he would just say different names because people looked like something, and he was being very friendly. And it turns out that friendliness was offensive to people. And that was a conversation that needed to be had, a very uncomfortable one, especially because I know that person was just trying to be friendly, just trying to reach out and say, hey, it's just me being friendly, but it's not how people wanted to be treated. They did not want a chuckle when they came in. Like, you can come in and present in a different way, handshakes and fist bumps, but there was the names, and you look like so-and-so, and you look like this, and joking and trying to have fun. And that's okay when you're really close with someone, maybe, but you will know that because they'll talk to you. What these people did was end up just leaving the gym, and we didn't realize until we sent out some surveys that was the feedback we were getting, and that was very unfortunate. Other things to be professional in appearance, it's probably more to do with the gym than you as a personal trainer, but it reflects on you. In appearance in the gym. Your workspace. Are you cluttered? Do you have a bunch of stuff just kind of thrown around everywhere? I tell you what, when people throw shirts onto a bench or something like that, and it falls off a bench, I will oftentimes pick it up, fold it, and place it on the bench. And it looks nice. I will oftentimes, when people come in and they are playing music, music in the gym, and I got to change the music, because even though, let's say 90% of the people are like, oh, I love this, there's people working out here and it's clearly, let's say it's rap music that's a bit misogynistic, and I've got my middle-aged to older people that I'm training, that, or if you're in certain places, you have very religious people that are training there. You can't have certain music playing. That's part of your professional appearance. How you look, how your space looks, how the gym looks, your language, that appearance, and the music that's being played. All of that's important. So all of that gets put in like professional appearance or professional presentation. Second, characteristics of a professional is you gotta be, if you're a professional, you know what you're doing. You are educated in your world. And I'm not talking Dunning-Kruger educated, which is not that educated, but think you are way smarter than everybody else. Kind of like all of these people who would love to bash science, and they have no idea what they're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't get to say, hey, scientists, you don't know what you're talking about unless you know science. You say, can you imagine that? People working on cars, people, heart surgeons. You know, I know a story. This thing popped up when I was scrolling, and it said, cholesterol clogging up your arteries is actually cholesterol loving your heart. What? No, you don't get to say that. Like, you have to be educated in what you're doing. And if you're a personal trainer, you're working with people. And the great thing about having so much information about training out there is that you now have educated clientele many times, and they will come in and ask you questions, and you have to be prepared with your answer. And that is how you talk about expertise. You are not an expert because you have the job. You are an expert beyond having a role as a personal trainer. You are educated, you are skilled at presenting information, working with people, hard skills, soft skills, all of those things. Your education beyond just human anatomy, physiology, human movement science, kinesiology, understanding different types of lifts and form and technique. But you got to work with people to get them to where they told you they want to be. You got to be educated in that. You need to, so those are two. Number one, being professional in your presentation, not just appearance, but your presentation. So how you look, how you sound, your environment. Number two, you need to be educated. Number three, you got to be there for your clients. Be there, really there for them. What does that mean? You need to be focused. You need to be attentive to your clients. The amount of conversations that trainers oftentimes have with each other while working with a client is baffling to me. I'm all cool with having an environment. Hey, man, what's up? Good to see you. No, I saw that over there. That was pretty good. Done. And that person, you're not interrupting your client when you're doing that. You're there, or your client's engaging. They think it's fun. And sometimes you got to stop your client from having fun and engaging with other people because you came to work. You got to be there for them and be focused. I'll say this, and this is one of the things that bothers me about me, is that I put all my programming on my phone. So one of the things that bothers me, not that it's on my phone, what bothers me is that people think I'm on my phone. I put things in notes in my phone. There are programs written out in my phone. The workout is written out in my phone. My edits, as we're working out, and say, oh, we did 35 instead of 30 pounds. Let me make that in. We're going to do this exercise because that one bothered your shoulder a little bit. And I'll go into my phone and I make my changes. The only thing that kind of bothers me is that people may be looking at me and say, Rick's on his phone all the time when he's training people, but that's where my programming is. I like it when people have iPads. It looks super professional. Just the convenience of having my phone with me is far more important than what I think other people might be thinking. So for me, that's huge. But some people use pen and paper, and they've got the clipboard that opens up. They pull different programs out. All of that is valuable. All of that. But just because you write stuff down doesn't mean you're focused. Doesn't mean you're attentive. When you Watch people exercise. The amount of times that you may not know what number they're on when they ask you is probably because you're not paying attention. It's probably because you're not focused. It's probably when people are working out and they go, "Oh, I feel that in my lower back." And you go, "Oh no, it looks great." And then in your head, you're like, maybe I should look at it the next set to see if they're doing it right. Are you being focused as a trainer? Are you being attentive? Or are you allowing yourself to be distracted? Are you allowing yourself to write the program in, but also check Instagram just real quick and see if anybody said anything on your post? What are you doing? So be there for your clients. Be really there. Keep that focus and attention on them. All right, before we continue, let's go into this. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM One, the membership for trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations, access free CEUs, and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to nasm.org/membership to learn more about NASM One. Number 4, be organized and reliable. Be organized. Organized. I need to know that you are putting everything in your calendar. You've organized it. You got people lined up, and that you are reliable, which means you are showing up on time. You are doing what you said you were going to do. You are helping people get to their goals, and you remember their goals, and you remember that their shoulder hurts, and you remember the SI joint's a little bit off, and you told them that you were going to send the workout, and you send the workout to them, and you say you're going to follow up with somebody, and you're going to call them back, and you call them back. I think that's part of the next one, which is accountability. Are you reliable, but are you being accountable for the stuff that you say you are going to do? And you can be organized and you can send people calendar invites. I think that's very important. Sending calendar invites, having the location of the place, letting them know, like, this is, if they buy sessions and packages, just put on there, like, this is number 4 out of 10. You bought 10 sessions. This is our 4th of 10. This is our 5th of 10. This is our 6th of 10. Every time they get that calendar invite, it tells them where they are. So when they look up the amount of sessions, there it is. I look up my session with Rick, and it populates their calendar, and they can see 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, 4 of 10, all the way through, because the calendar invite, we both see the same thing. And when you need to cancel, you call me, but you can also request a change on the calendar so we can change it on the date. This is your organization. Are you accountable? Are you showing up on time? Are you there for them? Did you do what you said you were going to do? That's vital. Part of being professional is being able to separate who you are outside of the home with who you are here. There's a personal version of you and there's the professional version of you. And yes, we can share stuff. Oh, how's your family doing? What are the kids up to this weekend? How did it go? That happened every single week. How was the weekend? What's going on? Cool. Workout. Focus on your goals, your needs, your wants. Workout. Talk about college football playoffs. Talk about the NFL. Talk about the NBA. Talk about this in your breaks. But the breaks are timed. And when the time is over, boom, we are working out. And that personal stuff about, oh, they didn't call me back, and oh, they didn't do this, and now I just spent the time crying over the weekend. You get, yeah. There are certain clients that you may have really a friendship with because you've developed that over the years. But the most that I've ever seen anybody say, I'm looking for a new personal trainer, has been because the trainer that they worked with treated it like a personal venting session for the trainer. Sometimes the clients do that, and then we feel responsible to be like, oh, maybe I should listen to them because they're paying me. They're not paying you to hear your problems. They're not your therapist. You need to find other people to talk to and keep that stuff separate from your business. Separate your personal and professional life. Number 8, have a good attitude. Have a good attitude. You got to find out like the do what you can, not what you can't. When people come in and they had a hard time and there were things that they were trying to do and they just couldn't do it, then you find out, what can you do? What are you capable of? What can I do to help you with that? Instead of beating yourself up on what you didn't do, let's find what wins that were made, and let's make some easier, smaller wins. And let's create an attitude, an environment where we are able to work with people and to help them move forward. We have a good attitude going into it, no matter who scratched our car, no matter who yelled at us crossing the street. I remember I crossed the street one time. I had the light. This is a point, because there are people jaywalk in New York City all the time. I had the light, and the person was turning on red, but I have the light. And they were in a big 18-wheel, and they honked at me, and they yelled at me. And I looked back at them, and I didn't say anything, because you know what? I'm not going to have a bad day because clearly you're having a bad day. You're having a bad day. I'm not going to go home and kick my dog because you're having a bad day. I'm not going to have a bad day because you're mad at me. I didn't do anything wrong. And if I yell back at him, you're just going to be madder. And then maybe do something even more escalated. Let that stuff roll off your back. You got to separate that. You got to have that good attitude, which goes right into the next one. You got to have some emotional control. Controlling your emotions when it comes to, oh, that trainer, they did this, and that trainer, I don't like how they train people. I'm glad you better be glad you're training with me. You wouldn't like working with them. They're not any good. That person doesn't have this certification. They don't have that certification. This certification is stupid. None of the, no certifications that I even know of are stupid. They all provide good information. I like NASM the most, but they all provide good information. It's not that they're bad certifications. It's not that the education's bad. It's not that that trainer is a bad person. Listen, control your emotions. Control your emotions. When the trainer gets upset and they go, I haven't lost this, and I haven't gained any muscle, and I haven't done this, and they're upset, you control your emotions. What would you like to talk about? What are some things that you think that I could do better? I'll work into the program, but also I'd like to find out what are some things that you think you could do better, because I'm going to provide you work to do outside of our training time together. How much of that work have you done? What is it that you can do? Is it too hard? How can I make changes? We're going to control our emotions, because number 10, very important, respecting others. You got to respect people. Respect the people in your orbit, respect the people in your environment. And this is real common now. They don't deserve my respect. They don't deserve my respect. And there are a lot of people who are just mad at people. If you're one of those people that are just mad at people, I think this is another important part of getting educated and being professional. There's this lack of professionalism in so many things in this world right now. And being respectful is vital. And that's going to make life a little bit easier for everybody in the gym. But being respectful of others is like making sure that we're choosing that music, right? That's part of the professional language and the professional music selection. Being respectful of others is part of that being professional when it comes to putting the weights back, wiping the chair and the benches after you're done working out on them. Be respectful of others. It's funny, like I see a lot of disrespect that happens in New York City. I find a lot of New York City people are very disrespectful of people outside of New York City that just don't think like them and don't have the views that they have. And I'll go through and I ride my bike to work almost every day. And I'll go through and somebody will kind of cut me off. And sometimes I start to cut people off and it's unintentional. I'm just moving and they start to walk out and I have to swerve and I'll go, excuse me. And it's like New York City, they so baffled Or I wave to somebody when I go through and I go, it's a close cut and they cut me off and I give them a little wave, which is something when I grew up in Alabama, we waved at people all the time. You just drive a car passes. My dad would wave at every car that went by. I was like, who is that? He'd be like, I don't know. I said, why'd you wave at him? He was like, because you just wave at people. You just be nice. Wave. They wave, I wave. I was like, that didn't make any sense to me. And then I started driving. I just wave at people and it's cool. And they wave back. Now I'm doing that on a bike in New York City. And people are waving back. All right, cool. A little nod, a little wave, a little nod, a little wave back. A head down nod, a head up nod. Well, finger up. Hey, man, sorry about that. Not that finger, but a little wave. The way it's received. What does that mean at the gym? Hey, are you using that box? Can I work in? And then letting people work in if they can work in. None of this clicky rage bait, get people, they didn't let me work in, you're not supposed to work in, you're trying to hit on me, all that stuff. Like, we're just trying to do our jobs and be friendly in the process. I don't want to work in on the set with you because I'm hitting on you. I'm trying to get a workout for my client. I'm not trying to make it uncomfortable. Let's be honest, like sometimes people make things uncomfortable and I acknowledge that. But you will never be assumed to be that person because you are known to be respectful of others. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. You get an opportunity, leave a review about the podcast. It really does help us a lot. And it helps people find us. So if you find the time to do that, it's greatly appreciated. All right. If you want to reach out to me, you can do so. Hit me up on Instagram at dr.rickrichey or email me rick.richey@nasm.org. You'll keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.